Okay, we've been sent another case to evaluate for implant placement and site number 8, it looks like. And my first thing I always like to look at is this a good case for OptiGuide? And the answer is yes. Certainly we could not, we could not depend on using those teeth. Questionable right here, and I would say not that tooth or that tooth. But all of these teeth right here could certainly make sure that our guide comes together. So we're a good case for an OptiGuide. We have good data. We have contralateral support, premolar to premolar. So we should have enough images there to get a guide made. Now the next question is what are we going to do on this case? So this case looks like it's a prep tooth with a crown fabricated on there. It's planned for a Nobel Active 3.5 by 11.5 millimeter implant, which my preference in a central site would maybe be a slightly larger implant diameter wise, but we can see what this looks like. So my initial assessment on this is going to be that placement is tilted to the distal, as we can see how our implant is going to the distal there. We're coming through the incisal edge, so I would like to see if we can make it come through the cingulum, allowing for a Saronis screw retained crown. So here you can see it's definitely come out to the distal there. Our design looks pretty darn nice here. Excuse me. Our marginal heights are done well, so from that perspective, we're looking good. So I'm going to make our crown implant disappear for a second, and I just want to mentally visualize where the bone is, and based on what I'm seeing here, I'm seeing the bone to be something like that. Our marginal height is about right here. So following our rule, we want to go in 2 millimeters and up 3 millimeters. Okay, and if this is going to be immediate placement, then we want to +1 for any bone loss that we can expect. So bring our implant back on here, and my initial assessment is that we are outside of the buccal plate here. So I would probably look at putting this implant a little bit more in there, and then our 3 millimeter rule, if we take here and go down roughly, let's call it 4 millimeters, because we're going to take a tooth out, then our implant needs to be probably along that line right there. So that would be a more normalized placement there, and then having done that and moving it back to the lingual, we're getting closer and closer to being able to have a screw retain restoration. And then we can just tilt it back a little bit like so, and then we will get it tilted back to the center like that and get it centered. And now we're starting to get a plan that looks a little bit more idealized, and now we can probably get a screw retained restoration in there. I think I am a little bit to the mesial right there, so probably tilt that back a little bit to the distal, about like so. So hopefully that makes sense, and these are some of the corrections I would make, and then go from here. And if we go through our 360 here, we can see where our buccal plate is. And we still may not be deep enough. Our buccal plate may actually go to about right here. So our scan is not quite as clear as I would like it to be here. Maybe, I don't know what size patient this is, but up the dose on the patient next time. So I might need a little bit of grafting right here. So hopefully this is helpful, and thank you for submitting your case. Let's see where the incisive foramen is, and we can see it right there. We're just going to avoid that sucker. We're right up to the base of the nose, which will help with stability. My only question is, where is the buccal plate? And I really can't tell with this scan. This may be one where we have to feel at the time of placement. So, if you have any other questions, don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you for submitting your scan.